Yippee-ki-pee.
I ain't talking. Me talk, me talk.
Dirty rat.
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 Very similar to Deathlord, but it is on a battle cry.
It's kind of reminiscent of Deathlord, but Deathlord is a card that you really only saw in decks that were good at protecting the Deathlord generally, or were playing lots of removal that didn't really matter that came off the Deathlord. And Deathlord also had the added bonus that many of those decks cared about fatigue.
Deathlord from past just seems much better. 2-8 with Taunt, and the opponent doesn't get a minion immediately.
I think it's pretty solid. I do think Warrior is going to play this card. It's going to be a good tech choice to win fatigue battles. It's going to be a decent play to just remove more cards when preparing a brawl. It's going to be a decent play against very aggressive decks.
It's on average just seems like too easy to get wrecked by playing this card. And if it ever is actually like good and it becomes mainstream, you just start mulliganing in a different way against people sometimes. Like, maybe you keep your expensive minion.
2-mana 2/6 with taunt in a vacuum is absolutely broken because it's just too good anti-aggro. It is still a good anti-aggro tool, but in a different way. It is going to be a way for you to beat the hand-dumping decks and punishing them for doing so. Where Dirty Rat excels, though, is more of a tech card. Against a control deck, if they have Grommash, Hellscream, and Alexstrasza, and honestly just about anything with a Battlecry, you snatch the card out of their hand, it doesn't trigger the Battlecry, and you get to respond to it right away.
It really might make dirty combos from your opponent not happen anymore if it pulls the right target. It's a really good card against aggro, where it summons sometimes just a random 1-drop. It's gonna be a card that sometimes can be really awesome, and sometimes it can just straight up lose you the game, where it summons an 8/8 for your opponent. So
Dirty rat has some very fringe applications where it can ruin combos.
A lot of guys think this is a very good card because it has a very big body, it has taunt, it should be really good. My argument is that it's really bad because if you play this on turn 2 and you summon anything that doesn't cost 2 or 1, you lose the game.
With Dirty Rat, you're not getting the extra card from their deck, and yeah, you're getting a powerful minion for sure, but you are often potentially setting yourself up to get really overrun. And also, it was tough to kill a Deathlord early on. You know, like you could play a Priest deck and have Powered Shield, have Velen's Chosen, and you could make it very difficult for your opponent to ever get the actual Death Rattle effect of the Deathlord. Whereas with Dirty Rat, you play it, your opponent hits, you know, Ysera or Ragnaros or whatever, and you're in a lot of trouble. You don't have the ability to try and mitigate that drawback because you have buffs and healing.
In most cases, you'll give your opponent something to trade into your 2/6. What's the point?
Okay, so there are two good situations with this card, okay? So, situation number 1. You play Dirty Rat, you summon a 3/2 from their hand. So, something like a Hunter 3/2, whatever. At that point, are you really playing a 2-mana 2/6 taunt? If the 3/2 hits your Dirty Rat, you're just summoning a 2-mana 2/3 taunt. Like, not too good. Another good situation is that you do not play this on turn 2, and then you wait until you play this with a removal spell in your hand. Like, that can actually screw up some combos. Like, you know, you can do it against, like, Malagos Rogue, for example. Like, that could be cool. But then you're not playing a 2-mana 2/6 taunt. You're playing a 8-mana, you know, destroy your combo potential. So, like, that's also pretty fringe.
Just don't look at it as a stat stick, because that's not what it is. You know, it isn't a 2-mana 3/5, right? It's a 2-mana 2/6 with taunt that obviously gets answered difficultly, but they're giving you a free minion. If you're aiming to answer it, that's going to be fine. Where it sucks, though, is as a disruption tool, your game plan is going to be thwarted as all hell. They opt to kill you with Leroy Jenkins, Dirty Rat, Leroy comes out, you can just find a way to kill it.
I considered putting onto the 1-star category, and I probably should have, but I took pity on the rat.
What's the point? Seems really bad.
I'm very skeptical that this is going to be as potent as a lot of people seem to think.
For constructed in a more controlled environment, I think it's pretty solid.
My argument is that it's really bad.
wow, what a card, guys! 2-mana 2/6, pretty good.
Dirty Rat is just a good card.
It's not the worst card. It's definitely interesting. I don't see how to get a benefit out of it consistently. Maybe with like mind control tech or something.